video is a little dated because it's been a long-term project. But earlier this year, we had a fire in the corner of a shop. I had a Chinese LED flashlight, which the battery was a lithium battery apparently, and left it plugged in. I've left it plugged in before, but apparently it overheated and started a fire in the corner of the shop and went up into the attic. So the video you see here are the guys tearing off the siding and getting prepared to get into the shop to fix it. This was a local contractor, and they did a great job. They were out there for 3 days, 3.5 days, and removed the siding and 4 trusses and rebuild everything. And I'm very happy with what they did and how they did it. On this time lapse, you can see that there's black in the center and not really on the right hand side. The reason for that is there was OSB on the ceiling on partially on it, and I'd removed that, and you can see the black, but it's looks pretty good on the right side. I should mention the name of the company, which is Laid Out Construction out of La Grande, Oregon. They did a great job for me. On the right hand side there, where the big opening is where the doors, you can see that they've got a couple beams and they've braced that and actually jacked up the roof a couple inches so they could replace everything. And then they lower it back down, and they're pretty good about it. I was up here every day with them and watching them while I was doing my own projects. And I'm not a super builder, but I know a little bit about it. But what they did, and the contractor explained to me everything they were doing, how they're going to do it, and it came out just fine. You can see on the right hand side there where the big opening is. That's where a door is, and they've got a couple beams there, and they've jacked the roof up a couple inches so they could replace the trusses and the studs. The video there you see with the officer with the firearm is actually my neighbor. I'm not in trouble. Where did everybody go? Oh, there they are.
As you know, we had a fire in the shop, and the trusses and beams, or not trusses, but beams, the trusses, studs, and everything's been replaced. I'm doing insulation and sheeting for the walls now, and trying to get that done. I have 300 feet of conduit and electrical I need to put from the shop down to the power main, which is down by the little building down there. You can see Shelly's loading tubs up that we put down there temporarily while we're working on the shop. I better turn my radio off here because I got in trouble. YouTube sent me a letter saying I had copyright music playing in the background. So the trusses have been replaced. The walls have been fixed. I'm still waiting for the door guy to come. Window replaced. Studs all the way up to there. You can see where I've started putting insulation and sheeting up. We'll go sheeting all the way around, all the way on the ceiling, insulate. I've got wiring for plugs, lots of plugs, because this is going to be my workshop or the wood shop area. It really looks like a mess now, it kind of is, but and I'm also putting in a Honeywell P20 circuit board and 6160 controller for fire and burglar alarm. Obviously, if I'd had smoke detectors up here before, I wouldn't have had the big fire we had. Luckily, it was contained to this corner, but still been a pain in the butt, and I'm 3-4 weeks behind all my other projects because of doing all this. It's taken forever. So, wiring going in here, you can see, and the panel main panel will be buried in the wall, so it's not easy to get to. I'll have to take screws to get it out. But the excuse me, the controller will be up here by the box. Nice thing about this system is it's going to be wired. There's no wireless, so I don't have to worry about batteries going down or anything. Everything comes from power. It's battery backup. And if you're going to defeat this system, so there'll be contacts on windows, motion detectors, and smoke detectors in here. So it's be a pretty secure building. If you're going to defeat this, you'd have to unplug the power and the battery at the same time. If you just plug one or the other, I immediately get a text message. It sends me a text with an alarm or a trouble code if I have trouble with wires cut or something. It's a pretty strong system. And the cost wasn't that bad. In fact, when you look at the smart system, this I think is a better system. It's more hassle put together, and obviously, I mean, you can put an RF in here so it's wireless, but I wanted to go wired because I am in the studs. I can run wiring through the studs, which makes it really nice, and I have to change batteries. But I've had a smart system before, and they change the batteries maybe once a year, depending on if you have a motion detector, it gets hit a lot, maybe every 6 months. It's really not too bad, but this thing I don't have to worry about forever. So I will do some video of doing this and some more video of doing the walls and getting my insulation up. And there's going to be a wall here. The wall this off. This has been my wood shop. Right there is going a pellet stove. I've got the work permit for it, or the building permit for it. And I've got till October something, and it's September or my permit expires, so I got to get going on it. So I thought I'd show what I've done so far with the box. The box is mounted in between the studs here, and I'm running the red, black, yellow, and green that will go to the control panel and running them through the studs. Good morning. It's a great day to get some work done outside. I think I'll start on a couple projects. Oh. Well, maybe not. Maybe in the shop today. It's a little snowy out here. That's better. Ah, much better. So probably the last time you saw the shop, we had the fire in the corner there, and so this whole, the door, this side and that corner has been replaced, and I was able to box it in, build some cabinets. The door was just put in a couple days ago, so I had this OSB to trim and finish this up. I was saving those pieces for that. And these cabinets, I bought 3 handles, but I don't know what happened to my other handle. Got somewhere. Pellets for a pellet stove, and miscellaneous storage, and my lumber, wood storage, clamps, and I'm going to build some kind of storage for plywood to put up against here and clamp it so it'll stay straight. So I've got them laid down there and some weight on them so they'll stay flat, because plywood these days are just not like it used to be. And they're curled and twisted and not straight. So the little pellet stove says it's 65 in here. I don't know if you can read that or not. I can't tell on the little screen. And I have a couple other projects. When it stops snowing, that's 1,000 feet of number 2 wire that's going from here to the power meter, so I can have some decent power out here. And these are wheels and sprockets and parts. I'm going to build a little utility trailer for our ATV, about a 6x4 foot trailer, so we can pull it with our ATV. So it's nasty out there. It's not very cold, hovering around the freezing marks. It's just a storm blowing in, dumping a bunch of snow, but it's not going to last very long. It's just making a mess of things right now. Okay, that's done. Had some plywood to build the cabinets that I talked about a little while ago. And I noticed that 4 out of 5 of them were really bowed. So I took them back to the lumber yard and got some that were not so bad. And I've had them laying on the floor, and I had some weight on them, but they were, and I got them, when I got them, they were bowed, and I was hoping that they would flatten out, but of course that didn't happen. And I plan on having my plywood storage over here, but I don't want them laying down. It takes up too much room. So I was trying to figure out some way to store the plywood and keep them flat. And I looked online at a couple different sites on how people were doing it, and didn't really find anything to clamp the plywood. So this is what I came up with. I made these slots of 3/4 inch plywood, made these slots for a 2x4, and so I made 2 of them. It's kind of a practice. I'm going to make another one for the bottom on each side. I have, 2x6s here, but there's also 2x4s back here. There's one right here, too. So as you can see, the 2x4 goes along there, and then I pound in these wedges to push that tight, and that is tight against that wall. And that's going to keep those from bowing while I've got them stored. Like I said, I'm going to do for the top and the bottom. That should keep them nice and beautifully straight. And hopefully they won't bow. I don't know how they could under that kind of pressure. Right now I've got a couple clamps on here because this one is the one I kept, and it's got a little bow on it. But I'm going to cut one up in the strips for my cabinets anyway. So I just went ahead and kept that. Maybe I should have taken it back, I guess. But then the ones I got, the replacements, weren't great. I mean, for 45 bucks, you'd think you could get some nice, straight, good-looking pieces of plywood. But, man, it's unbelievable. I'm going to look around for maybe a specialty lumber shop in my area, and maybe somebody that's got, maybe the veneer stuff's better because it's going to be even more money, right? So anyway, that's what I came up with. It seems to work pretty good. I just tap those wedges in. They could be a little bit more of an angle so that you can wedge them in harder, but they're pretty solid. In fact, I can't hardly move that one. I guess I can tap it, take it in and out. And I overlapped 2 8-foot 2x4s just for the strength so that they couldn't bow themselves either. I'll probably put a couple more screws in there, but this kind of was a test run. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. And the nice thing about this is that even if I only have 1 sheet of plywood, I can use a couple of these wedges and keep it, or if I've got a whole bunch of them, I can't imagine having more than this. But I could always extend this out if I do. But that ought to take care of how many sheets of plywood I'm going to have for projects I'm doing. So that pretty much wraps it up for today. Tomorrow, I could start on, I'm going to finish. I've got this rolling table. It's a nice rolling workbench, but it wasn't the right height for my saw. And I want to be able to have a table around my saw so I can cut plywood in big stock, but also be able to push it out of the way when I run my equipment in here, like the tractor and the snow. We're supposed to get 5 to 8 inches more tonight, and it's nice to be able to run the tractor in here and keep it thawed out. It's in the carport right now, the lean-to, so not lean-to, it's carport. Lean-to is like what you build in the woods, right? And tomorrow I start on cabinets for that corner. I'm getting excited because I need to get a lot of stuff on that part of the building off the floor and in the cabinets, my woodworking stuff, and get that done. So, that's it for tonight. It's dark outside. Time to go home and get some dinner. Adios.